Hi, I'm Erin Emery, and today I had my first day at field placement. I was at Douglas Elementary in 5th grade with Miss Hill's class. It was so great. I loved my first day. In comparison to first semester's first day at Birmingham, it was a lot better. Huge class, 30 students. In all the 5th grade classrooms, there was 30 students, so definitely a larger class amount. And it was, I believe that the city or the school is suburban, but I was talking to my teacher about it, and she said it's kind of suburban rural, where they're kind of like steering away from rural and becoming more suburban. The students were very nice and welcoming, and I got right in there and was helping students with their math activity books, and it was a great day. I can't wait for the rest of the semester. Thanks. Today was my second day at field placement, and I think it was pretty successful. It was a more boring day than my first day. I helped the teacher by making some copies and gave some of the students a spelling test that they missed the day before. The students were working on division in mathematics, and I absolutely loved that. I walked around and helped them with their math journals and helped them start preparing for their tests that they have next week or a couple weeks, and yeah, it was great. Today was my third day in field placement, and it went really well. The students, I anticipated them to have a math test this week, but the teacher actually moved it till next Tuesday, so we got to do more math. And they also started their tall tale reading. So each of them got a booklet of different tall tales that they had to read and do a report on. So I got to help with them starting their posters with their illustrations and their descriptive words for each chapter that they read. We also did a spelling test. I got to see how Mrs. Hill sets up each of the spelling tests, and each of the students get to pick 7 out of the 12 words that they want to be tested on. And yeah, it was a great day. Today was my 4th day in field placement, and the students had their math test over division. Kind of a boring day when there's tests, but the teacher used me, Mrs. Hill used me to be able to do copies for her, and I also got to grade the tests as they came in with my answer key. Grading papers I found is something that I like to do, especially when it's math, like finding what's different in each of the students' problems. After their test was done, we continued with the tall tales, and they read a story about Johnny Appleseed. We also watched a video on that, and the students really enjoyed that, tying in a video to the lesson, which I think was a really good idea, so then they could visualize it after we read it. And they'll be tested on that soon, all their tall tales. Today was my 5th day in field placement, and the students just yesterday took a test on their tall tale section, and today they started a new math lesson. Kind of did a little bit more review based on how they scored on their division test last week, and now they're on to fractions and decimals and stuff like that. I was able to help a lot of the students, like one-on-one, that missed some stuff from vacations or anything like that, so that was really great. And they will be starting their mystery literature section since they just finished their tall tales, and I'll get to see that as the weeks go on, what stories they read and what notes they take and different posters that they make for their projects. Today was day number 6 in Mrs. Hill's classroom for field placement, and so far Douglas Elementary has been really great. All the staff and everything, they've been really nice, and I've gotten a lot closer with some of the other 5th grade teachers at the school. I ate lunch with the kids today like I normally do, and there were some fun stories from that, just kids saying the darndest things. They continued with their mystery section in English, and I got to work with some girls that have been falling behind a little bit with taking notes, and they're not as far along in the chapter. So I worked with them separately, got them reading, and got them caught up with all the other students, and it was a great day. Today was my 7th day in field placement, just about halfway there. The students are preparing for their DARE program that they're going to be starting pretty soon. It's the drug program that the school brings in to talk to the 5th graders about drug abuse, alcohol abuse, everything like that. They'll be doing that on Wednesday, so I'll come the day before that they start that. And we also continued with mystery. That's been really great hearing about all the different stories that the kids are reading. Mrs. Hill allows each of the kids to pick out of a certain amount of stories which one they want to read. And I think that's really great because some might be gory, some might be about kids their age, like they get to pick based on their interests, and I think that was a really good idea. They'll be tested on that soon, and their projects will be due. I've been helping out with those a little bit, and they're turning out great, and I can't wait to see how they finish off this English section. Thanks. Today was day number 8 in field placement, and the students were tested on their mystery novels, whichever one they read. They will be starting a new genre soon, but the teacher hasn't told what that was yet. I made a lot of copies today for math. The teacher, Mrs. Hill, she'll use me to as much as she can while she's busy starting off this new genre of reading. So made close to 1,000 copies today of math boxes because the students do those every day to test their previous knowledge on what math they learned from the day before. Which is a really good tool because then they kind of refresh before they start the new lesson. And it was a really great day. Students got a lot done, and I've gotten to know them a lot more throughout these past couple days at field placement, and I can't wait to get to know them even more. Thanks. Today was my 9th day in field placement, and we got to do a lot of math today. The students had a lot of math worksheets. We got to go over their homework from last night, and I got to help with their math boxes. I actually got a little refresher myself on how to do some decimals and fractions and mixed numbers and improper fractions, but the students overall learned a lot, and I again got to work one-on-one with one of the boys in my class that is a little bit not as excelled in math, and he doesn't really understand the subject, so I got to work one-on-one with him out in the hallway to help him catch up with all the other students, and it actually worked. And once he got back in the class, he seemed to have more of a hang of it and actually raised his hand to answer some questions, so that was a really good feeling, and I can't wait to see what next week holds. Today was my 10th day in field placement, double digits now. Does not feel like I've been there for that long, but I guess I have. Getting really close with the class, know them all by name, know all their personalities, and they become really accustomed to me being in the classroom and being kind of that authority figure. I had a run-in with a little troublemaker today that was in one of the classes, the other 5th grade classes. He just doesn't listen for anything, but I had to put my teacher voice on and be a little bit more assertive, and he actually listened to what I was saying and got himself in check and started learning the lesson like everybody else. So, learning moment for me because I never had to deal with a stubborn child like that, but it worked out, and I'm happy it happened. Today was day number 11 in field placement, and after I left, I couldn't believe that I only have 2 more times in that classroom. Got to work on some more math with the students today. They will be tested on their upcoming this lesson that they're on right now in a couple days, so hopefully I'll get to grade some of those tests and see what's going on with them. And did a spelling test, had to catch 2 students up with their spelling and take them out in the hallway and make sure those are all set to go. Did more math minute copies. It's becoming one of my favorite things to do as a teacher's aide, is going to make some great copies that will be useful to her when I'm not there. And another student teacher is in my classroom now, so it's great seeing how she works with the classroom because she's probably about 3 years older than me, so I know that I'll be in that stage sometime soon. And yeah, learning experiences. Today was my second to last day in field placement, day number 12, and I told the students that it was, and they started making me cards and stuff, even though it's not until next week, so it was making me sad, but I got to reminisce on like some things that I taught them, and they were saying thank you for the things that I helped them with, and that was a really good feeling. More funny lunchtime stories. Kids continue to say funny stuff, and help the teacher grade some papers. Mrs. Hill, she needed help with their math boxes that all the kids caught up on now. Everyone's all caught up. And yeah, it was a great day. Gonna miss those kids. Today was it. My last day at Douglas Road Elementary and with Mrs. Hill's 5th grade class. It was a great semester, and I couldn't have asked for it to be any more of a learning experience. I got to work in the subject that I wanted to, math, because it's only my goal to be a fifth grade math teacher. And also got to see the English aspect, which isn't part of my major, but definitely could be after seeing all the genres that the kids are reading and putting it to their needs, what they want to read and how they want to do their projects. And grading papers, making copies, meeting other teachers, the principal, and the other fifth grade staff. Everyone was great, very welcoming, and I told Mrs. Hill right before I left that maybe she'll see me again with her new fifth grade class. Maybe in a few semesters, but maybe even next semester. So can't wait to see what ECCO holds. All in all, great semester. I liked everything about it, and I'm glad that I chose to be there. Thanks. ECCO spring semester is already complete, and I can't even believe it, but it has been one great semester, and to reflect on it, I think that I wouldn't have changed anything, the things that I've learned, and how to deal with the students who are more advanced, or the students that have a little bit of trouble, or the troublemakers, the ones that don't like to listen to the teacher. Getting to work one-on-one with students has been a great experience. Got to know those students very well and like their learning abilities, and also got to see how I helped them and see how they went back to the class and kind of got to show what they learned, which was a really good feeling. Mrs. Hill taught me a lot too. She had great classroom management, which I could only hope to mirror. The students really respected her, and she definitely knew how to handle the classroom and make sure her students were in check. And different methods that she had for discipline, the pulling cards or flipping cards, yellow, green, red. Students, it really worked, and the students, as soon as that threat was brought out there, they didn't really have any chance. They sterned up and made themselves better and started to respect her more. She worked really well with all of her coworkers, the other fifth grade teachers. They had a great relationship and could carry through what they were learning in each of the classes. And I just loved everything about field placement. It was a great learning experience, and I hope to have a similar one next semester. So here's hoping. Thank you.